Hi there. So today I'll be reviewing the Pepe Romero Glow Low Tension Flamenco Nylon Classical Guitar Set. This set can be used either for a vintage instrument because it has lower tension, or it can also be used on flamenco guitars with the lower tension because it has more of an attack. So these strings are made by LaBella, proudly wound with American wire. Pepe Romero has partnered with them. That's Pepe Romero Jr., his son, the famous guitarist's son, who is a famous luthier. When you first open these up, I was kind of surprised to see this. They have beaded keys on the side, so these little kind of almost, they look like dice, I guess. Little things on the side, you can see here, are on each string telling you the corresponding number. So that is pretty handy. I mean, when you take each string out, sometimes you put them on the table, they get jumbled up. You forget the B and the high E, etc. So this is a good guide to just not get confused when restringing if you jumbled it up, or if you're working on multiple guitars at once and maybe have plenty of materials around. So I'll read this real quick. It says, "The Romero family lives and breathes the Spanish guitar. Born in 1913, Calatayud Romero was one of the world's greatest Spanish guitar players and composers. He founded the Romero Guitar Quartet with his 3 sons, inventing the format for 4 guitars and becoming known as Los Romeros, regarded as the royal family of the guitar. Calatayud's 3 grandsons follow with the tradition of living the life of the guitar. 2 grandsons joined Los Romeros while traveling the globe for decades as world-class guitarists, and Pepe Romero Jr., the youngest grandson, started a new Romero tradition, dedicating his life to building some of the finest concert classical and flamenco guitars available. During a family trip in 2011 to Oahu, Pepe Jr. fell in love with the Hawaiian ukulele and began building them like little Spanish guitars. Pepe Romero Jr. has teamed up with another family with a deep musical history, LaBella, to bring you guitar and ukulele strings. These strings are made with love and respect for music and, importantly, with the knowledge of many generations and the passion of the current generation." And one last thing, it does say here this has Tarnish-Proof packaging. Now this was kind of interesting. LaBella's modified atmosphere packaging contains pure nitrogen to prevent the harmful effects of both moisture and oxygen, the primary causes of string tarnishing. Other packaging simply seals air inside, while LaBella makes oxidation a thing of the past. Tarnish-proof, waterproof, oxygen-free, and then it says it again in multiple different languages here. And I'll read you the back. There's one other piece of information in the back here. Pepe Romero Strings has worked with LaBella to customize this American-made set of guitar strings. This set was built with a lower tension, clear nylon to bring out the best in your vintage guitar, without putting too much stress on the instrument. Also ideal for flamenco guitar, these strings will give you a certain grit when you dig in, and will feel easier on your hands. Pepe Romero has been working with LaBella for many years, and they have now teamed up to bring you string sets that will boost your instrument's power, sustain, clarity, and overall performance. Pepe Romero and LaBella are proud to bring these special strings to you. So I purchased this specifically for this Mexican luthier-made guitar. This is a Fructuoso Zampa Luna from about the 50s or 60s. There was no year printed inside, but I figured that since this instrument is that old, it should have something a little bit of a lower tension on it that was more gentle on the bridge. Now this didn't have any structural issues with the bridge or anything like that, but I don't want those to crop up at some point, and I figured using a lower tension string would help to prevent that, if that makes sense. So I'm tuning these to the pitch of 426 Hertz. I feel like that sounded pretty good on this instrument. I just don't want to tune it to full concert pitch, 440 Hertz, because I want it to be a little gentler with less tension. I did play this with 415 for a couple days, but now I've kind of tried a couple different pitches and found that the 426 seems to sound best in this instrument, so that's probably what I'll use when I play this guitar. So far, I've liked the feel. The tension is very good on the hands. You can even bar way down the neck, and there's no trouble, so if you were playing some flamenco, it wouldn't be an issue. I've had these on a couple days, and the pitch has been okay. I've been having to retune every now and then as needed, but that's kind of standard with plain nylon strings anyways, and I'm sure fairly soon they'll stabilize. But I'll come back at some point and put that in the description to let you guys know how long it took to fully stabilize. The sound has been good. It's nice and it's very clear. The basses are also resonant. And you're going to get maybe something between a standard nylon and a carbon for tone. It's a sweeter, brighter tone and sound than you get from something like the Dario EJ45 or their Student Nylon set or Augustine Black, but it's not nearly as bright as a carbon or even a Nile gut. So it will be a little brighter, a little more expressive, just not as much as a carbon. So price-wise, these are moderate in price, I'd say. They're not as expensive nearly as something like a No Block or Gut Strings, but they are more expensive than a standard set of D'Addario. So these retailed for $17.99, at least in September 2022 prices, and a standard set of D'Addario right now is about $11. So they were a bit more, and we'll find out if that's worth it. It may be worth it just to preserve your vintage instrument, or if you want to get a cheaper set of flamenco strings compared to whatever you might be using, but these are moderate in cost. you for joining me. If this video was helpful, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing. Thank you. Have a nice day.